So we are very fortunate to have His Holiness Swami Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj in Pune, and on his maiden trip to Pune, he's first time visiting ISKCON BCEC. So when I was talking to Maharaj while coming upstairs, he clearly remembered ISKCON Camp Temple which he had visited years ago. But I was mentioning to him that this is a new place that's like the upcoming temple, you can say, upcoming area. In this area we are preaching. So I'll read a small introduction, although Maharaj does not need any introduction in ISKCON. He is quite famous because of his wonderful, thoughtful lectures and his online presence and all around the world that he's traveling and preaching. Maharaj graduated from University of College London and he became a 21-year-old monk and continues that journey over 2 decades later. Having studied ancient Sanskrit texts for over 25 years, he has gone to author more than 10 books and has designed over 50 courses, empowering his audiences to apply ancient insights, to upgrade relationships, discover purpose, overcome inner blocks, and craft well-being on all levels. Maharaj's social media presence and online teaching platforms have introduced tens of thousands of people to Eastern wisdom. In 2022, he co-founded Think Gita, which is now the fastest growing online portal for learning the Bhagavad Gita in a powerful, exciting, and a life-changing way. Maharaj travels around the globe now and teaching eminent academic institutions, Fortune 500 companies, governmental organizations, and spiritual communities. He remains a thought leader on the cutting edge, inspired to share wisdom that breathes not just book knowledge, but deep spiritual insights that transform character and consciousness. So we'd like to, there's a huge introduction here. I don't know how much will I be able to do. But let us welcome Maharaj to ISKCON BCEC by once chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So Maharaj is in Pune for a short trip. Today evening, Maharaj would be giving a class at NVCC for the leaders, and tomorrow morning a Bhagavatam class and a Brahmachari class also tomorrow at NVCC. And tomorrow evening he has a flight to Dubai, right? Thank you.
Hare Krishna. It's my great fortune to be here. Today we are speaking about how charity is spirituality, and I've come to beg charity from all of you. I've come here as a beggar to learn from you, to be inspired by you. Prabhuji was giving me an introduction saying I need no introduction, but I think ISKCON Pune needs no introduction. You are famous all over the world. Your seriousness, your sincerity, and your incredible example of Krishna consciousness in your community here has touched the hearts of so many devotees around the world. So we've come here to bathe in your association. I was very fortunate to come to Pune 22 years ago. Yes, I came here as a 21-year-old, at that time in the other old temple, I think. And I think also that time I only stayed 2 days. So I think Krishna tells me only 2 days you're qualified for. I'm still trying to build my qualification to stay here longer. So yes, very happy to be with you. And today we will bathe a little bit in the words of Srimad Bhagavatam. Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Daja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Shri Hari Naam Sankirtan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nastaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. That's okay. That's good.
हरे कृष्ण क्लास का हिंदी अनुवाद FM 108 पर होगा.
Sorry, no Hindi. Gujarati. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 10, chapter number 22, entitled Krishna Steals the Gopis' Garments. And today we're reading from text number 35. Please repeat after me. Etavad janma safalyam Dehinam iha dehishu Pranirarthe diya vacha Shreya acharanam sada Etavad janma safalyam Dehinam iha dehishu Pranirarthe diya vacha Shreya charanam sada Etavad janma safalyam Dehinam iha dehishu Pranirarthe diya vacha Shreya acharanam sada.
एतावज्जन्म साफल्यं
एतावज्जन्म साफल्यं
देहिनामिह देहिषु प्राणैरर्थैर्धिया वाचा श्रेयाचरणं सदा
Mataji's. Etavajjama safalyam
प्राणेरर्थे धिया वाचा
Anirarthe diya vacha
श्रेय आचरणं सदा
Shreya acharanam sada Etavajjama safalyam Dehinamiha dehishu Pranirarthe diya vacha Etavajjanma safalyam Dehinamiha dehishu Pranirarthe diya vacha Etavat up to this Janma of birth Safalyam perfection Dehinam of every living being Iha in this world Dehishu toward those who are embodied Prane by life Arthe by wealth Dhiya by intelligence Vacha by words Shreya eternal good fortune Acharanam acting practically Sada always. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. It is the duty of every living being to perform welfare activities for the benefit of others with his life, wealth, intelligence, and words. Purport. This translation is quoted from Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi 942. So I'll just read the purport from there. I don't know if you can. Adi 9. I'll do the purport from the Chaitanya Charitamrita to the same verse. Purport. There are two kinds of general activities, shreyas, or activities which are ultimately beneficial and auspicious, and prayas, or those which are immediately beneficial and auspicious. For example, children are fond of playing. They do not want to go to school to receive an education, and they think that to play all day and night and enjoy with their friends is the aim of life. Even in transcendental life of Lord Krishna, we find that when he was a child, he was very fond of playing with his friends of the same age, the cowherd boys. He would not even go home to take his dinner. Mother Yashoda would have to come out to induce him to come home. Thus it is a child's nature to engage all day and night in playing, not caring even for his health and other important concerns. This is an example of prayas, or immediately beneficial activities. But there are also shreyas, or activities which are ultimately auspicious. According to the Vedic civilization, a human being must be God-conscious. He should understand what God is, what this material world is, who He is, and what their interrelationships are. This is called Shreyas, or ultimately auspicious activity. In this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that one should be interested in Shreyas. To achieve the ultimate goal, wants to play, is it? Doesn't want the education. To achieve the ultimate goal of Shreyas, or good fortune, one should engage everything, including his life, wealth and words, not only for himself, but for others also. However, unless one is interested in Shreyas in his own life, he cannot preach of Shreyas for the benefit of others. This verse cited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu applies to human beings, not to animals. As indicated in the previous verse by the words Manushya Janama, these injunctions are for human beings. Unfortunately, human beings, although they have the bodies of men, are becoming less than animals in their behavior. This is the fault of modern education. Modern educators do not know the aim of human life. They are simply concerned with how to develop the economic conditions of their countries or of human society. This is also necessary. The Vedic civilization considers all aspects of human life, including dharma, religion, artha, economic development, karma, sense gratification, and moksha, liberation. But humanity's first concern should be religion. To be religious, one must abide by the orders of God. But unfortunately, people in this age have rejected religion, and they are busy in economic development. Therefore, they will adopt any means to get money. For economic development, one does not need to get money by hook or by crook. One needs only sufficient money to maintain his body and soul. However, because modern economic development is going on with no religious background, people have become lusty, greedy, and mad after money. They are simply developing the qualities of rajas, passion, and tamas, ignorance, neglecting the other quality of nature, sattva, goodness, and the Brahminical qualifications. Therefore, the entire society is in chaos. The Bhagavatam says that it is the duty of an advanced human being to act in such a way as to facilitate human society's attainment of the ultimate goal of life. There is a similar verse in the Vishnu Purana 3:12-45, which is next quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada ki. Krishna was out one day in the forest with his friends, and they came underneath a tree. Krishna looked at the tree and said very, very beautifully, Aho esham varam janma sarva prani upajivinam sujanasyeva yesam vai vimukha yanti narthina. Krishna looked at the tree and he said, Aho esham varam janma. Oh, just look at this tree. What a glorious birth. I don't know how many times we looked at the tree and said, oh, tree, what a glorious birth. Krishna did. Because Krishna said, Sarva prani upajivinam. Every aspect of the tree is meant for the benefit of others. The leaves shade the tree, the fruits nourish, the leaves shade people, the fruits give people life, the bark allows them to create so many different things, the juices of the tree give medicine. Every single aspect of the tree is meant for the benefit of others. And therefore, in this chapter, Krishna is looking at the trees and he's saying our life should be just like the trees. Every aspect of our life, every aspect of our being, whatever we've been gifted by material nature, the perfection is if we use it in the service of others. Then our life becomes as glorious as the tree. It's very interesting because the Bhagavatam has a strategy, and what happens is in this 22nd chapter of the Bhagavatam, the trees are being glorified for being so magnanimous. And this is used as the contrast because in the very next chapter, there will be individuals who are demonstrated to be extremely miserly. And who are they? The Brahmanas, the Yajnik Brahmanas. Here we have the trees who are giving whatever they have for the benefit of Krishna, his cowherd friends, and the entire society. But in the next chapter, we'll see that when Krishna, the cowherd boys, when they go to the Yajnik Brahmanas and they ask, can you give us something to eat? They don't even bother to say no, they simply ignore them, they neglect them. That is the miserly mentality, to not give what one has. In Gujarati we call it kanjus. So one has something, but they do not utilize it, they do not give it, they do not engage it in someone else's service. So like this, the Bhagavatam gives us a contrast. The trees are glorified. In Brihat Bhagavatamrita, the trees are glorified because it's said that when the trees hear the sound of Krishna's flute, then there is an internal effect and there is an external effect. When the trees in Vrindavan hear the flute of Krishna, then what happens is externally the juices of the tree begin to flow. Externally the fruits begin to manifest and become ripe. Externally the flowers on the tree blossom. And in this way, just as when the living entity, the human being, hears the sound of Krishna's flute, then they cry. Similarly, externally, the tree is also producing all of these effects. But it's said also that when the tree hears the sound of Krishna's flute, then internally the tree becomes so humble. Internally the tree feels so unable to reciprocate with the sweetness of Krishna that the tree begins to bow and the tree begins to come down in humility. Sometimes we offer obeisances out of formality, out of culture. But the real obeisances are the obeisances which are coming from someone whose humility has entered their heart so much that they just feel the need to always come down and be below others. So the trees like this are also coming down. So the trees are very beautiful, described here in the Bhagavatam. But here, the theme of the verse is that one should be charitable. One should not hold back. See, once we come to Krishna consciousness, there is still the tendency to hold something back. One for Krishna, two for me. A few more for Krishna, but I have to keep some behind the back for me. Therefore, they say Krishna is not so interested in what you present before him, but he's looking round the back at what you're hiding. He said, I want that one. No, Krishna, he has so much. No, what's there? I want that. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming to give. Mahavadanyaya, he is magnanimous. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita is explained very beautifully. Anarpita chiram chirat kuranaya vatirna kalo samarpaitum unattajjala rasam svabhakti shriyam Hari purata sundara dyutikadam basandi pita sada hridaya kandare svuratu vasachinandana. Very beautiful verse. Kaviraj Goswami is saying, Anarpita, that which was anarpita, not given for a long time. Samarpita, Mahaprabhu is giving it incomplete. Mahaprabhu is giving it magnanimously. Mahaprabhu is giving it copiously. He is giving Krishna Prem. Take it. In the commentary to this verse, in the Sandarbhas, Jiva Goswami explains that if Mahaprabhu is giving it so freely, then why isn't everyone receiving it? And he explains, because we are kapat. Kapat means crooked. We are not straightforward. And he says there are 3 types of kapat. One is called the dhana kapat. It means one has some resources, one has some facility, one has some possession which has been bestowed by Krishna's mercy, but they are not giving that to Krishna. They are holding that back. You see, if Mahaprabhu is coming to give freely, then to freely receive, you also have to give freely. Then it's a free exchange. He is giving to give, so if you also give, then the combination is very nice. But if he's coming to give and we are holding back, then the full exchange cannot take place. And therefore Jiva Goswami says the first type of kapat is the dhana kapat, the one who is holding back their wealth. But then Jiva Goswami says, even if one manages to overcome this, then the second type of kapat is known as a bala kapat. One who is holding back their bala, their energy, their effort, their endeavor. They gave everything in terms of resource, but when it comes to giving their energy, their effort to receive this gift of Krishna Prem, then they're holding that back. And then Jiva Goswami says, but even if one manages to overcome this, there is a third type of kapat. And that type of kapat is known as a prema kapat. Because what they are holding back is their love. They're giving all their resource. They may even be giving all of their energy. But are they doing it with their heart? Isn't it? Dil se. From within, from the heart, with love. That we may not be doing. We may be holding back our love still for someone else. So yes, once one learns to engage their dhana, their bala, and all of their prema, Krishna wants everything. Because Krishna wants to give everything. But in order for that full exchange to take place, one has to give. Therefore, yes, like they have that t-shirt, I lost my heart in Vrindavan. So Jayadvaita Maharaj once said, very good, as long as you lost it to the right person. Otherwise, some other romance is going on. Don't lose to the wrong person, lose to Krishna. Yes, give your heart to Krishna. It's funny, His Holiness Sachinanda Maharaj, he said once there was one Mataji and she, what to say, she fell in love with a brahmachari. It happens sometimes. So this brahmachari was Sachinandan Maharaj's disciple, so he had initiated him. So she wrote a whole letter. This is like Rukmini to Krishna. So anyway, she wrote all her feelings, so. Anyway, finally she sent the letter, so the brahmachari, shocking, So then he brought it to Sachinandan Maharaj, so Sachinandan Maharaj saw the letter, so he went to this Mataji and he said, I saw your letter. He went, oh my God, you seen my letter? Only for his eyes. So Sachinandan Maharaj said, very good letter. He said, very good. And what he said is, he said, now, every place in the letter where you've written his name, I want you to replace it for Krishna's name. So, the sentiments are okay. We want to give our heart to someone, but you have to know who to give your heart to. So, giving our heart to Krishna is not so easy in the beginning, because our heart is invested in so many other different things. We have left a piece of our heart in many, many different areas. And therefore, to gather your heart back and then give it to Krishna, it takes time. Therefore, if we can't give our heart to Krishna, then this verse is telling us, praner, arthe, diya, vacha. Those things you can start giving. You can start giving your life energy, prana. This is the first thing you can give to Krishna. Prana can mean your entire life. We are signing up people today if they want to give their entire life. Prana can also mean your energy, your efforts, your endeavor. You have some life in you, you have some vitality, you can give that to Krishna. So this is the first thing we can give to Krishna, your life. And isn't it, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they came and they just gave their life to Srila Prabhupada. Brahmananda and Garga Muni Prabhu talk about how, they gave their life to Srila Prabhupada. I mean, if one son joins the Hare Krishna movement is bad enough. But when you get two in one go, double hit, then it's very disturbing for the parents. So Brahmananda Prabhu and Garga Muni, their mother and father were not impressed that they had joined the Hare Krishna movement. But it said that one day they had come to the storefront to see, what are my sons doing? So the father, he refused to come, but the mother, she came. So everyone was there in class, sitting on the floor. Srila Prabhupada was giving a class. So she walked in. So Prabhupada said, give her a chair. So Prabhupada treated her very respectfully. So she was sitting on a chair watching her two sons and all these other Hare Krishna converts, listening to the Indian Swami in a storefront in the Lower East Side. Anyway, finally, at the end of the lecture, Prabhupada told Brahmananda and Garga Muni, go and take the dust off her feet. So then they went so she was immediately bewildered. Why are they touching my feet? Like it's a different type of culture, So they touched the feet and then they bowed down to their mother, and as they bowed down to their mother, Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna. That's what they knew. When you bow down, you say Prabhupada's pranam. So they said, we used to bow down to our parents. And he said later on, Prabhupada told us actually, every time you meet your mother, you should bow down. So they said they used to go to the home in Connecticut, and then they used to ring the doorbell, and then the mother would open the door and they would immediately bow down. So she was thinking, who is here? Who's here? And then she'd look, oh my God, he's down here, he's bowing down. So Prabhupada is in the storefront, so he told the mother, thank you, they are such nice boys, you did such a good job. So she said, what are they doing here? What benefit are they getting by being here? So Srila Prabhupada said, we are teaching them, we are sheltering them, I'm taking care of them, every day I'm feeding them. Prabhupada said, practically I'm doing everything for them. Then Prabhupada looked at her and said, so you should give us a donation. She was thinking, my God, donation. So then she looked at Prabhupada and she said, but I already donated my 2 sons. Prabhupada said, that is okay then. So in that statement, she donated her 2 sons. Prabhupada was expert. So they donated. Prabhupada, they gave their lives. Isn't it incredible? These devotees, they came and they just left everything behind. You can also give your life to Krishna. Why not? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, you gave so many lives to Maya. So many lives. Now give one life to Krishna. Try. See what happens. Anyway, you gave so many lives to Maya. So still, there's some resistance. Like there was one young boy in our manor in London, so he wanted to join. So it's difficult. They say for most people the problem is mahapap. They've come with so many sinful activities. But for Indians it's ma-bap. Mom and dad. They won't allow. So this boy, he wanted to join. So full delegation of the family came. Full delegation. So then the father was speaking. So our devotee was there. So he said, I don't mind, he can join. I don't mind at all. I said, really? He said, but first he should grow up, first he should finish his studies, first he should get a job in the world, first he should have children, first he should experience all of life, and once his children are grown up to his age, then he can join. So the devotee looked at the father and said, okay, leave him, we'll take you instead. So he got bewildered. He said, well, he goes, no, but you take him, it's okay, you take him. So everyone says, in the future, in the future, in the future. How? Well, now you have your life, now you have your energy, so you should give. So, the first thing Bhagavatam says is you can give your life. That may mean joining the temple. And if you can do that, that's wonderful. But the goal of life is not to join the temple. The goal of life is to give your life energy to Krishna. And so even if one doesn't join the temple, you can still give your life energy to Krishna. You can still give that facility that you've been given by Krishna. So, praner, give your life. Artha, give your wealth. Yes, you can also give your wealth to Krishna. You see, wealth, if it's not used in Krishna's service, that wealth will imprison you. It will drown you. The Bhagavatam says actually that wealth is such an incredible thing in this world because to earn wealth causes you anxiety. Once you have the wealth, you're in anxiety. And once you have to spend the wealth, you're in anxiety. So practically the whole thing from beginning to end is only causing you anxiety. But when we have that wealth and we use it for Krishna, then it's very, very wonderful. One should be a giver. One should be generous. There's a story of Bill Gates actually. Before he was famous, he says, before he became very wealthy, he was at an airport once. And he wanted to get a newspaper, so he went to the stall and then he got a newspaper and he came to the checkout and he realized he didn't have any money with him. So he looked at the agent and he said, the newspaper vendor, and he said, I don't have any money. So the vendor said, just take it, just take it, no problem. So he said, okay, thank you, I'll pay you back in the future. So then he said, some months later, he was in the same airport again. And he wanted a newspaper. So he came to the same newspaper vendor, and he came and he bought, and he came to the checkout. And again, the same thing. He looked in his pockets, and he realized, I didn't have any money. So he said to the vendor again, he said, what to do? I don't have any money. So the vendor said, it's okay, take it. Anyway, finally years went by and Bill Gates became Bill Gates, very wealthy, very successful. And then once he was traveling through that very same airport, and then he remembered his newspaper vendor, the friend who had given him those newspapers. So he came to that vendor and he said, how are you doing? The vendor said, very good. He said, how are you doing? He said, I'm doing good. He said, you know who I am? He said, yeah, I know, Bill Gates. You made it big. You did well for yourself. And Bill Gates said, yeah, you helped me out that time. You gave. Now I'm rich. Now I'm wealthy. Now I'll give back to you. And the vendor said, I'm wealthier than you. I'm wealthier than you. What can you give me? So Bill Gates said, why? He said, because you waited to become rich before giving. But I never waited to become rich. I gave. And because I gave, I became wealthy. People think first you have to become rich. See? People think first you have to become rich and then you give. When actually, if you give, then you become rich. In other words, whatever you want to receive in your life, if you give it first, then you'll receive it. If you want love, first give love. If you want knowledge, first give knowledge. If you want attention, first give attention. So like that, one should give, one should be generous with the wealth that's been given. And if one does this, then their life becomes beautiful. There was one Christian pastor, and he came in front of the congregation and he said, we have to build a church. It costs $1 million, but there's good news and bad news. The good news is that the money is already there. The bad news is it's still in your pocket. So it's all there. Just that endeavor to take it out and give it to Krishna. One should not hold back. One should not hold back. Because if one gives, and gives with the heart, then actually Bhagavatam explains, when you give charity in the proper way, your wealth expands anyway. Don't do it as a business deal, but I'm just saying, it's a fact anyway. You will not lose, you'll never lose out if you give to Krishna. And then here in the verse it's saying, Dhiya, give your intelligence. Like now in the world we see so much war, isn't it? So much conflict. And Martin Luther King once he said, those who want peace in the world have to be as organized and intelligent as those who want war. The people who want war, the people who want to exploit, the people who want to harm, the people who want to cause destruction in the world, they're so intelligent and they're so organized. Now we have to use all of that same intelligence and organization to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. Sometimes when an intelligent person comes, like an intelligent young person, for example, comes and wants to become a brahmachari, then many people feel, no, you've got a degree, you've got intelligence, you've got so many opportunities. You should go in the world and have a good job and make money and then give that money to Krishna. So that's one way of doing it. And that's wonderful if you can do that. But what about if some of the most intelligent people use all of their brain power to help spread and structure and spread this Krishna consciousness movement? That's an amazing use of intelligence. So everyone has intelligence within them. This intelligence can be used to spread this movement. And here it said, Vacha, we all have the opportunity to speak. When the Kurma Brahmana, who was supposedly himself feeling that he was caught up in materialistic family life, and he said to Mahaprabhu, I want to just leave this materialistic family life and I want to join you. Then Mahaprabhu gave him the different instruction. He said, don't join me. Don't give it all up. Rather stay in your family life. And then what did he tell him? Jare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh amara agyaya guru hana tare e desh. You don't have to leave your family life, Mahaprabhu told him. Jare dekha tare kaha, whoever you see and whoever you speak to, just tell them about Krishna. Kabuna badibe tomar vishaya taranga punaryapi te thane pabe mora sanga. If you follow this instruction that whoever you see, tell them about Krishna, then the waves of materialistic life will affect you no longer. Very interesting actually. We could do a whole discussion on that. What's the connection? Imagine someone comes to you and says, Prabhuji, it's so difficult. my mortgage, I got debts, I got family problems, I got issues living in the world out there, and you'd look at them and you say, don't worry, just everyone you see, tell them about Krishna. Everything will be okay. Then they may look at you and think, this is a little impractical solution. But when you look closely, this is incredible instruction. Because when you're engaged in sharing Krishna consciousness, incredible things happen in your own life, whereby all of your problems actually begin to disappear. And therefore, vacha, everyone can use their words to tell others about Krishna. And if you do this, then you become Krishna conscious. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he had one very illustrious disciple, Sundarananda Vidya Vinod. He was a wonderful speaker and he was a wonderful writer. Sometimes Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would call him up to speak Harikatha alongside Bhaktisiddhanta. He would say, you come and speak with me. And one time Sundarananda Vidya Vinod, he gave a class on Raghunath Das Goswami, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur heard that class. And he said, I bless you that until 1 lakh of individuals haven't heard a full class from you, you should not get liberation. You have to keep speaking. Keep speaking again and again and again. Keep speaking Harikatha, because your life becomes glorious, and everyone who hears that wonderful narration, their lives also become glorious. So we can use our words for Krishna as well. So like this, we have to become charitable. Whatever we have, our energy, prana, our wealth, our intelligence, our words, the more every aspect of our being is engaged in Krishna's service, the more our life becomes glorious. Because that creates an internal bhakti. At the end of the life, you can't take your beads with you, but you can take the genuine taste you have for the holy name. At the end of life, you can't take your library of books with you, but you can take the genuine realization of the Shastra that you've captured within your heart. At the end of life, you can't take your positions, your titles with you, but you can take the service attitude that you've developed within your heart. And at the end of life, nobody else will go with you but your bhakti, your heart, your loving devotion, your relationships with the Vaishnavas and Krishna, that feeling and that connection, that will remain even past this world. So we have to invest in these invisible assets, and this means we have to become charitable, we have to give. And we have to know that if we give, then we're getting eternal assets in return. People measure dhana in different ways. You see, people measure wealth in different ways. For most people, wealth is just money. For some people, wealth is power, position. For some people, wealth is land. Some people have a more refined idea of wealth. They know knowledge is wealth, austerity is wealth. But ultimately, the real wealth is love, prema dhan. Prema dhana vina vyartha daridra jivan, das sakori vetan more deha prema dhan. Kaviraj Goswami says, if you don't have love in your heart for Krishna, daridra jivan, you should be considered a poor soul. So the highest type of wealth is prema dhan, and prema dhan is gained by praner, artha, diye, vacha. By giving these 4 things in charity, then one becomes very wealthy. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes, so we can take some questions. If anyone has any questions, comments, or would like clarification on any of these points.
You could raise your hand, we'll send the mic to you. Any questions? Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh, yes.
Yes, thank you very much for this class, and thank you very much for the wisdom that leads. I was recently thinking, I just now thinking that we need ventilator here. We are making us like that. You're talking about different kinds of kapata, dhana kapata, bala kapata, and prema kapata. So even after spending some time in Krishna consciousness, sometime we are not able to give fully to Krishna. So what is exactly that thing that holds us back from giving everything?
In the theologies of the world, they say God has three qualities. He's omnipotent, He's omnibenevolent, and He's omniscient. God is not God unless He's all-knowing, He's all-powerful, and He's all-compassionate. The reason why we can't fully give ourselves to Krishna is because we still have a doubt. Maybe we believe Krishna is all-powerful and all-knowing, but we have a doubt. Is Krishna all-compassionate? Is He always kind? Will He really? Or we think Krishna is all-kind and He's all-knowing, but is He all-powerful? Can He really make all the arrangements needed? Or we think, yeah, maybe Krishna is all-powerful and He's all-kind, but does He really know what's going on in my life? Because we don't have full realization of how Krishna is all three of these qualities, and if we give to Krishna, we'll never be the loser. Therefore, we are still holding something back. And therefore, the whole process of Krishna consciousness is how can we increase our faith that Krishna is alive, that Krishna is attentive, that Krishna is affectionate, and that if I give myself to Krishna, then Krishna will fully acknowledge what I've done and He'll take full care of me. Shraddha Shabde Vishvash Kohe Sudrida Nishchoy. Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. What is Shraddha? It's the Vishvas, the firm conviction. Krishna Bhakti, that if I render service to Krishna, Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy, everything I need to achieve in life will be done. So we have to try to increase our realization of Krishna. And that means we have to philosophy, people, and practice. This is how you increase your faith in Krishna. We continue hearing about Krishna. The more we hear about Krishna, then our faith is becoming stronger. The more we associate with individuals who have given faith, who have faith, then our faith to give more is increasing. And then we have to practice. You have to take a risk. You have to sometimes just do something for Krishna in which you're not 100% sure what will happen. And then you just have to rely on Krishna. When you take a risk for Krishna, then Krishna has to come and help you. Shyam Sundar Prabhu, in a beautiful video, he talks about how in the early days, the devotees took so many risks for Krishna. He explains one day they were in London, they had a temple, and they didn't know how they were going to pay the next month's rent. And he said, one day we were just on the edge, we were just going to be evicted. He said, we walked down into the street at 6 o'clock in the morning, and he said there were just money bills flying. Just money flying. He said, we looked left, we looked right, there was not one person in sight. And he said, we just caught hold of the money. And he said it was enough to pay the rent. So you have to watch this video. I wish I could show it to you. It's an incredible video. I can show it to you. It's here right now. And he said, Prabhupada told us, if you take a risk for Krishna, then Krishna has to help you. And he said, we tested that to the max. And he said, but now some of that spirit is lost. We've become comfortable. And who is ready and willing to take a risk for Krishna? Anyone who wanted to find Krishna in this world took a risk. Dhruva Maharaj took a risk. Parikshit took a risk. Prahlad took a risk. Spiritual life is risky business. To take a risk. So like that, as you take a risk for Krishna and Krishna comes, then you think, my God, Krishna is there. Of course, why not? Give more. And like that. So yes, we need to... Krishna can't remain a concept. Krishna has to be someone that we're experiencing. We have to experience Krishna's reciprocation, and then one can give more. Otherwise, from the intellectual platform, you will only go so far in your giving. But when you know Krishna is there, I have to give everything. That's the challenge. Thank you. You came from Gujarat?
Yeah, Gujarati.
I said he came from Gujarat. No? Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Just we are waiting for you, Gujarat also. Two things and two questions are there. One question is quite jokey question. The Bill Gates, when he was published, 2 times when he visited the airport, and he said, I don't have money. Then how he had just plane, the airplane.
Oh, how was he flying on an airplane if he didn't have any money in his pocket? I think he just didn't have any change, like no change. Understand change? Chuta paisa.
Second question is, even though you told about the experiences, the realizations and educations from Krishna and from the spiritual, like in the spiritual world, those personalities, they gave us everything, and we are also trying to give ourselves from Arche, Pranay, Arche, Dhiya, Bhaja, and we just dedicated externally, I mean my personality. Okay, I'm trying to dedicate myself. Physically I dedicated. I think it's kind of duplicity, because my consciousness and my mind and senses, they are not completely engaged to substitute Prabhupada and to love Krishna and to feel that experience and feel that reciprocation of Krishna. So this is kind of very bewildering situation and very, very difficult to think that really I am serving Krishna or really I am loving Krishna, so that I am not getting anything in return. I mean, in that kind of reciprocation, I am thinking that my senses are wandering, my mind is wandering. It's not going over way, so that's why Krishna is not reciprocating. So what can I personally do?
What is the solution? We are all in the same boat. Because for lifetimes we have cultivated material desires, therefore, bhogeshwarya prashaktanam tayapadita chetasham vyavasayatmika buddhi samado nuvidhiyate. Because we're rooted still in desiring enjoyment, we still have agendas to achieve something in this world. Therefore, that resolute determination, that resolute focus, navidhiyate, is not happening, it's not coming. We are in a gradual process, step by step, day by day, service by service, trying to improve. Every single day we have to come back again to the devotional progress, to the devotional practice. One devotee said to me, when the alarm clock goes off in the morning, get up, dress up and show up. This is the most important work in the world. So right now we are doing things somewhat in a regulated fashion. Even our heart may not be there. Even our feelings may not be there. But we have to show up. We have to show up for service. We have to show up for sadhana. Eventually what we have to start doing is bringing more heart, more devotion, more intention, more attention into the activity. This comes by hearing about Krishna, by gradually becoming more and more appreciative of Krishna's name, fame, form, qualities, pastimes. Then when we're serving, we serve with more presence, with more personal feeling. So this is going to be a journey. It's not an overnight. This is going to take time to change the heart. But it works because you're a different person. You're not who you were 10 years ago. You're a different person. That means the process is working. You may not be where you want to be in purity, but the process is working. So you have to continue on. But everyone should always be thinking, how much more can I do? Because what you did last year is not enough anymore. It's not enough. Just like when you do weight training. Do you do weight training? Then, if you're lifting 20 times, then after you've done that for 2 months, 20 times doesn't do anything. Now you have to do 30. Therefore, Mike Tyson, he said, I only start counting the push-ups when it starts hurting. That's where you're growing. So therefore, we have to grow, we have to do more. We have to give more dhan, more bal, more prem. Even if we can't give everything, we should give more. And then, one day it will come to the point of everything. Manasa deho geho, jo kichu mor, arpila tuwe pade nanda kishore. So, step by step. It's going to take a lifetime. But it's a short life. One life to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj, again for your wisdom. Makes us keep breathing in our spiritual lives, and we are eternally grateful for that. Maharaj, as we are looking forward to celebrating Janmashtami, could you share some practical tips? As every devotee, we keep hearing that how we have to invest our consciousness to, invite Krishna in our heart. But at the same time, we see that as Janmashtami comes up, there are so many services, it's overwhelming. So how do we really balance and still, make that extra edge effort to enhance our consciousness to invite Krishna? So any quantitative and qualitative efforts, if you can share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, yes. Yes, Janmashtami is a big festival and so many people come. All the service that you do to receive the thousands of people that will come here on Janmashtami, that is extremely pleasing to Krishna. I did a kind of survey in my life of all the advanced devotees of Krishna, or those who we can immediately perceive have made great strides in Krishna consciousness. And I saw that the one common quality amongst all of them is they made a special effort to help other people in their spiritual lives. In other words, when you serve and you assist others in coming closer to Krishna, that gives you a special mercy that helps you to go forward. And so, serving, facilitating many thousands of people in their relationship with Krishna itself will give you much benefit and progress in your spiritual life. So yes, by all means, everyone should take up service, give your energy. This will be very glorious. But yes, we should not neglect our sadhana. We're not just trying to do service, but we're trying to do devotional service. Therefore, one devotee once said to me, it's good to be absorbed in service, but did you know it's also a service to be absorbed? So that changed the way that I functioned a little bit, because I realized that if I become absorbed, not only is that in itself a service, but it will empower my service in bigger and better ways. And so, yes, one should also be careful not to neglect their sadhana, because then one will actually, if one keeps good sadhana, then they can actually do their service in bigger and better ways. So yes, this is, festivals are the mother of devotion. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings about this, no? Bhakti Janani, Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani, Jatana Palana Kori. That the festivals are the mothers of devotion. So it's a beautiful expression, because the mother of devotion means it's that very thing which gives birth. So people come to a festival, and many people, it will be the birth of their Krishna conscious journey. And so it's very auspicious time of the year, because so many people will begin their journeys through these festivals. So yes, we wish you a very wonderful festival. Now I'll go back to London, Manor, and in Manor we have a huge Janmashtami festival. Usually 100,000 people come, many people come. So yes, it's... And I remember I used to come to the Janmashtami festival, and I used to come to the Manor since I was a kid. But when I started doing service, that's when everything changed. And I started doing service when I was 15 at the Manor on Janmashtami. And the first service they gave me was to wash the pots. So I still go there sometimes and I wash pots. And I remember, yes, this is where I started. Such a glorious opportunity to serve Krishna. So no matter what you're doing, know that it's transformational for you and for many others. So may you have a wonderful Janmashtami festival. Hare Krishna. Mataji's, any questions? Or do I?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for wonderful words. So Maharaj, my question is, sometimes you may have energy, capacity or dhan, but then you are under so many other obligations. You have to take permission from some people that though you want to do it, but you can't do it. Let us say, no, but devotee Mataji, she was asking me, she's working and she wants to donate, she has got a lot of money. But then she says she can't do it without, she has to ask to her husband, and she was asking me whether she should do it secretly. He won't come to know. I know he never looks at my account. So, she wants to do it, but so I told her not to do it.
This is going online. So should they do secretly? Is that your question? Or no? What generally? What should we do if there's some external factor which is stopping us? Maybe you want to give your dhan, but someone else is telling you, no, don't give. Isn't it even? Bali Maharaj, same thing, right? You wanted to give. Sukracharya was saying, no, don't give. May make up some excuse. Don't give. It's okay. Only 3 steps. What's that? So her husband knows it's dangerous business. He knows. You give to Krishna. See, there's a verse in scripture. Murkho vadati vishnaya, dhiro vadati vishnave, ubhayor tu samam punyam, bhavagrahi janardana. Someone who doesn't know Sanskrit may say vishnaya. That's not what you say. Dhiro vadati vishnave. When you say it, it's vishnave. That is the correct. Ubhayor tu samam punyam. But it doesn't matter. They get the same benefit. Bhavagrahi janardana, because Krishna looks at one's motivation. So in the heart, if she wants to give, then she is already given. She can remember how in the jail Vasudeva and Devaki gave so much charity in the mind. So many cows, so many things in the mind. Yes, Manasa Seva can also be there. There's no limitation in devotional service. It's interesting, you know this story where Sanatan Goswami and Madan Mohan. And Sanatan Goswami is... So Madan Mohan is asking, can you, he's only giving dry chapatis, and then Madan Mohan says, at least give some salt, no? And then Sanatan Goswami is saying, no, I will not give salt, because today you ask for salt, tomorrow you will ask for sweet rice, I need to do my bhajan. So Sanatan Goswami is not giving. So one commentator, he says, why didn't he just give? I mean, after all, if Krishna comes in front of you, Krishna is asking, why don't just give? So he gives a very interesting explanation. He says, Sanatan Goswami wanted to give the maximum. He wanted to give the maximum to Madan Mohan. So he realized, I can give some soul, but how much will I be able to get and give to Madan Mohan, because I am just like, I'm a mendicant. I can maybe get some salt and give, but then that will be it. But he said, rather, if I save my time, instead of looking for the salt and all of that, if I save my time and I do my bhajan, then in my bhajan, if I develop the purity of consciousness, then in my mana, in my mind, I can give unlimited things to Madan Mohan. So let me give unlimited things to Madan Mohan. I may be able to get some salt, but better than that, if I do my internal antaranga seva, then I can give unlimited without boundary. I thought that was a nice explanation, because the devotee wants to give to Krishna. So Sanatan Goswami wanted to give more. So the point here is that externally, there may be so many difficulties. Some gopis, Krishna played his flute. Shriman Rasarasa Rambhi Vamshi Vatatatastita Karshan Venu Svaner Gopi Gopinathai Shriyestuna. Krishna played his flute, and all the gopis ran, but some gopis couldn't, because their husbands held them back. And he said that they were held back in their homes, and the fire of separation in their heart purified everything. So sometimes there may be obstacles, sometimes there may be limitations, but devotional service is ahaituki, apratihata. It can't be interrupted. No one can stop you. Nobody can stop you. Raghunath Das Goswami was running away from home, and they kept bringing him back. And then his mother said to the father, why don't you tie him up with chains? And the father said, you're mad. He's got a wife who is more beautiful than Apsaras, and he has wealth which is more copious than Indra. And even that can't hold him back. What will chains do? So nobody can hold you back. But it means we have to understand that if we can't serve in this way, then we find other ways to serve, because service can never be stopped like that. So, okay, thank you. As you like.
Thank you very much for beautiful answers. Maharaj, my question is, while preaching, what we are actually doing? And what are the mistakes we generally commit when preaching?
So when we're preaching, what are we actually doing? And what are some of the mistakes we commit while preaching? To preach means to bring someone closer to Krishna. You may give them a book, that's preaching. You may give them prasadam, that's preaching. You may just say some nice words, that's also preaching. Because if they appreciate you because of your good conduct, then they appreciate Krishna, they come closer to Krishna. So to preach means somehow or other to bring someone closer to Krishna. So devotees do it in ingenious ways. Some direct, some indirect. Just like once we had one of our devotees, he was from a Sri Lankan background. He was a teacher. But you know Sri Lankans, they have a surname is little long, you know. So he was in the British school, so then they said to him that, can you change your surname? Because, otherwise the kids have to call you out, Mr. Every time Mr. It's too long. So he said, can you change your name? He said, yeah, no problem. Just tell them to call me Mr. Gauranga. So the whole day the kids were, Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. So that was preaching. In Scotland we had one temple where the devotees, they were trying to get everyone to say Gauranga. So what they used to do is, you have the motorways, then there's bridges. So in the night time they would go on these bridges, and in big, you see like here, they would write G-A-U-R, Gauranga, like massive. So in the morning when everyone would drive, all the thousands of cars, they would all see Gauranga. So once I was distributing in these regions, and then I distributed a book to one Scottish person. So I said, can you say Gauranga? He said, Gauranga. He said, I know Gauranga. I said, you know Gauranga? He said, I know Gauranga. I said, really? Who's Gauranga? He said, Gauranga. That's that company that makes all the bridges. So I said, yeah. In one sense, Gauranga does build a bridge, no? It takes you to the spiritual world. So devotees find all kinds of ways to preach. Preaching means bring someone closer to Krishna. And what are the mistakes we make while preaching? Many mistakes. Many mistakes. One person once said to me something which defined how I preach. And he said, it's one thing to love to preach, but do you love the people who you preach to? See? If you keep this rule in the front, you may love to preach, but do you love the people who you're preaching to? If you love the people, then you're a good preacher. If you're a good speaker, doesn't mean if you're a good preacher. If you're a good book distributor, doesn't necessarily mean you're a good preacher. Good preacher means one who loves the people. And if you love the people and you're always trying to do benefit, then Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam, I'll give you all the intelligence of how to preach. But we have to love the people. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, he loved the people. And he was willing to do anything. And therefore, we're all here by the love of a pure devotee. So an ounce of love is worth a ton of work. So one must have some love, little bit of love. And that goes a long, long way. Because bhakti can only be created by bhakti. I see more hands, but one more? Okay, I'm sure.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. Maharaj, how can spirituality help in creating a sustainable and harmonious world?
Wow. In the world we're living today, there's so many problems. Economic problems, environmental problems, social problems, political problems. If you trace back every single problem in the world today and you go back to the root of it, it's a lack of spirituality. Why do we have economic problems? The root cause is greed. Why do we have environmental problems? The root cause is because we've depersonalized the earth. The earth, we just see it as a matter, as a resource. And if everything's matter, nothing matters. Therefore, the moment you depersonalize something, we know earth is mother, bhumi. But the moment you depersonalize something, the very next step is you'll exploit it. What's the root of all political problems? Again, envy, pride, bodily concept of life. So if you trace every single problem in the world we're living in today, and you trace it back to the root, it's a lack of spirituality. Krishna says this is the demoniac mentality. Asatyam apratistam te jagatahur anishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kamahai tukam. What do the demons say? Asatyam, the world is unreal, it's just matter. Apratistam te, there's no one in control. Kamahai tukam, it just comes about by chance. And then what does Krishna say in the next verse? Etam drishtim avashtabhya nastatma nolpa buddhaya prabhavantyugra karmana kshayaya jagato hita. Nasta atma, lost to themselves, completely ignorant of their spiritual identity. What do? Ugra karmana, terrible work, kshayaya jagat, which will destroy the universe. Therefore, Einstein said, you can't solve the problems of the world with the same type of thinking that created them. So if people try to create a sustainable world through material solutions, it's not going to work. Because you can't solve artificial problems with artificial solutions. Have you heard of the cobra effect? Once there was an outbreak of cobras. So the Indian government, all good stories start and end with the Indian government. So the Indian government said, we put a bounty. You understand? Bounty, it means a reward. For anyone who brings cobras, turns the cobras in. So you know what the Indians started doing, right? They started breeding cobras. Breed more. More money. So the Indian government started realizing, my God, there's more. Where did all these cobras? There's even more than we thought. They realized, my God, they're breeding. So then at one point they said, no, stop, no bounty, no reward. And then the farmer said, no reward? Okay, let all the cobras go. Bigger problem. You try to solve an artificial problem through an artificial solution and you'll exacerbate the problem. So, therefore, Srila Prabhupada said, this movement will go down in history for having saved the world from a suicide course. Now, we can't understand that. Like, we are here, in India, we seem to be very small. But what we're teaching, what we're giving is incredible. We're passing on. So that's what we have to do. Every devotee has to. Praner arte diya vacha. Deliver this Krishna consciousness and dedicate our lives to sharing. Thank you so much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Hare Krishna. So we'd like to thank Maharaj for giving such a wonderful discourse, such wonderful explanations, and so nicely answering the questions. Maharaj is going to continue giving classes at NVCC today evening and tomorrow morning. I'll request all devotees to find time and also attend those sessions. Maharaj traveled early in the morning from Mumbai and he's here. Now it's time for his breakfast. I think we've already gone past the time. But like I had said, Maharaj is the author of many, many books, more than 10 books. We have 3 available here, and we have put up a counter outside the temple hall. Those of you who want the books, there's Gita 3, and there's Gita Life, and the book Bhagavatam. These books are available. They're outside, so please go ahead and grab your own copy. Thank you. So let us thank Maharaj by once chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.